In an entertainment world where there are properties that fans have begged for and called for and wanted, and yet it never really happened to come to be, I can think of taking another shot at a He-Man movie ever since the Dolph Lundgren one, or one of the big ones. Even James McAvoy himself has talked about this. Where's our Thundercats movie? Where is the Thundercats movie? I can recall going back 2 decades, tons of conversations amongst fans about they need to do a live-action Thundercats. They need to do a live-action Thundercats Ho. It needs to happen. Where's my Eye of Thundera? I mean, the Ring of Power is great, but the Eye of Thundera, I mean, come on.
It gives you sight beyond sight.
It gives you sight beyond sight.
It's amazing.
And who else is going to stand up against Mum Ra, the ever-living?
Yeah.
We need the Thundercats. As a matter of fact, I bring this up all the time. But guys, there's an old pre-YouTube. Yeah. There's this old video that somebody made and put up online of a live-action Thundercats trailer. And it's with Brad Pitt as Lion-O. I don't know if you ever saw this. Vin Diesel as Panthro. Hugh Jackman as... Oh, who is Hugh Jackman? Tigra?
Tigra.
Yeah, Tigra. I can't remember who they had as Chitara. But they had in there. And they just took clips. Remember, you can do stuff like this today with software fairly not difficultly. This was like 20 plus years ago that some fan took these and took live footage and took
Mumra
from the Indiana Jones movie. That was your Mumra. Anyway, all the way back. Every year or so, some kind of little piece of news drops that gives, over the last 20 years, that has given people thoughts that, oh, maybe they might be doing it. And it never happens. But now, maybe? And it might be coming to us from Adam Wingard, the director of the upcoming Godzilla X Kong. The folks over at Gizmodo wrote this. Speaking to IO9 about Godzilla X Kong, Adam Wingard revealed the latest on both high-profile projects, and in terms of Thundercats at least, it's very encouraging. He said this, Simon Barrett and I are actively working on the script, Wingard said. We finished our last draft basically right when we were going into production on Godzilla X Kong, and we just had to put everything on hold. But right now, we're actively working on it again. So, whether that means that's the next thing I do or not, I'm not sure, but it's definitely one of the top priorities I have right now in terms of working on a script. Okay. So, what this means is, somebody has still believed that there is potential in this and has been paying for development of a script. And I love hearing that there's a possibility this could be Adam Wingard's next project. Now, I believe he's also working on the Face Off,
yeah.
Sequel, reboot, whatever they're going to do. But it sounds like that might still be a little bit far off. And he's now dropping the hint that, I don't know, maybe this is the next thing I do. Thundercats. Now, look, there's a couple of problems. Thundercats is not as nostalgically beloved and held on to as, say, something like the Transformers was. And every year that goes by, I think passion amongst fans for a Thundercats movie has waned a little bit as every year goes by. The other potential hurdle is, I don't care if you get the Godzilla -1 crew in, this will be an expensive movie to make. I mean, there's just no way around it. Not necessarily a $250 million movie, but an expensive. This isn't like a movie you can make on an indie film budget.
It's going to have maybe even like near Avatar sort of numbers. Maybe. If you really want to get like the landscape proper and like
but they would never greenlight a movie that would have to make $600 million to break even, right?
Just don't do it. It has to be $200 million.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, look, they did Godzilla -1 for 15. Right? Now, granted, they work under a different set of circumstances that is much less expensive, but still, it'd be kind of expensive. I don't care. I would still love this. And yeah, maybe it could be garbage. And yeah, there's a million different ways this could go wrong. And there is an argument to be made that just because it worked well as a cartoon show when I was younger, that doesn't necessarily mean it'll translate into a great live action thing. I understand all that. I just want to see somebody give it a try. And even if it turned out to be bad, I would be grateful that they tried. I would love to see them take a shot at it.
I believe the character design of Thundercats and maybe even Silverhawks, whatever. I don't even think you need nostalgia if you introduce it to like a newer generation and it looks cool. I think it's something people can pick up on, just cat people.
Just
like
cat
doing
people.
Crazy cat things. It'd be awesome.
See, I could live without the cat people.
You know, whatever, tigers, whatever, Bengal tigers, whatever. So, yeah, I think it'd be something that it doesn't matter if the nostalgia is past. I think if you make a good, cool-looking movie, I think people would actually grab onto it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, James McAvoy, a number of years ago, somebody asked him, he did this wonderful interview where somebody asked him, if you had a dream project you could do, he said, now this is going to sound strange, but it's Thundercats. And if you can look it up, look up James McAvoy Thundercats on YouTube somewhere, and you'll find it. And he talks about there's something so fascinating about the idea because the story of Lion-O is he was a boy, like a child, and then his cryo chamber didn't quite work right. He got old, his physical body got older while everybody else stayed the same, and then when we all came out, he was suddenly in an adult body. There's a little bit of Shazamism in there, actually. But so he says the idea of how to play that, James McAvoy, it would be fascinating. Anyway, guys, we want to thank a sponsor of today's video, BetterHelp. Guys, it's a brand new year, and a lot of people are making New Year's resolutions, things they want to change about themselves. But I've always believed that it's also equally as important to identify the things we're doing well and building on those. And therapy helps you find your strengths so you can ditch the extreme resolutions and make changes that really stick. I've always believed that nothing impacts our daily performance in our jobs, our hobbies, our relationships like our mental health. And I've also said for a long time that it's about time that we stop just putting emphasis on improving our physical health by getting out to the gym, but also by putting emphasis on improving our mental health as well. So if you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. All you gotta do is fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapists anytime for no additional charge. So guys, celebrate the progress you've already made. Visit betterhelp.com/Campea today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/Campea. Chris, you're seeing what Adam Wingard is saying here. What do you think first of all, is this even a movie that some studios should try to do at this point? Do you think Adam Wingard will get a go-ahead and actually make this thing happen? What are you feeling about this?
I would like a studio to try to do this, but I don't want them to give it the Cats treatment. That's the big thing, is I don't want weird, uncanny cat people where it's just been folks running around in suits all day and then they animate cat body parts on top of them. I would want you to go a more Star Wars route, honestly, of a practical prosthetic. I would want that kind of thing in here, a Star Trek kind of route, if you will, so that if we are going to do live action, we do practical things. These are actual felines on set and such. The thing with Thundercats is they've tried to reboot this franchise twice now, because there was
wasn't there one where they were like in high school on Earth or something? Who came up with that idea?
There's one from 2011 that ended up, it was supposed to be like a 50-something episode series. It cut down to about 26 episodes. It had reruns on Toonami. And then the most recent one in 2020 was Thundercats Roar, and that's the kind of wacky antics of Lion-O dealing with Mumra in a very cartoony kind of way. So it's a very different show that just happens to use these characters. So I'm interested to see how many people do have interest in this franchise. I liked the original Thundercats. I thought it was super, super fun. I think it's a very toyetic kind of show too, so it's smart for people to do. I would love to have that sword. That'd be amazing. I'd run around my house all day with that thing. Yep. But, aw, Snarf, love you.
Him and Orko should have a buddy team-up cop sideshow.
The crossover we deserve. Oh, my gosh. But I am interested, just again, from a funding standpoint, if there are enough people who would want to see this movie, and then what you do with that story. Do you do the kind of big story, right? The Lion-O, I'm a child who now has to take on the responsibilities of a leader and as a man. Do you play up how sci-fi and otherworldly this is? Is it something where they're going to try to make it, I don't know, intergrained with other alien species or something? Are they going to do a total reboot of it? I'd want to know more about the details of it behind just, these are really cool character designs. You should do something with it.
And I go back to Mumra. Like, that's the only villain in my childhood where I was actually terrified. If any of the Thundercats found themselves in that tomb, and you even as the old man in there, it creeped me out. I was like, get out of there. Like, nothing good can happen here, especially if you don't have the team behind you. Imagine it, Mumra transforming on screen. That looks so cool.
Oh, it would be an awesome moment. But the question is, could they make a good movie around
Yeah.
it? I mean,
Yeah.
clearly you cannot. Like every time you do the camera swinging when Lino's going thunder, thunder, new camera, thunder, Thundercats. Oh, and,
Yeah.
you know, like you can make great looking moments,
Right.
But that won't do nothing for you if you make a crappy movie.
Yeah.
And you know what sucks about that moment? It can only happen once in the film because that's when they get the upper
Nope.
hand.
Every 20 minutes. You do it every 20 minutes.
No, but in reality, that's when they get the upper hand, right? So it suck. You'd be like, he's not doing it now. He's not going to do it now. It's not going to happen. And then like the last 5 minutes, just like that first Godzilla movie where Godzilla comes out finally.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be a disaster.
What is it Mumra says too? Every
disaster.
time he does his transformation, he's like,
He
Powers of
has this little
evil.
speech or whatever.
take this decrepit form and make Mumra the ever living. Something like, I don't know. I
He
just
says,
remember
ancient
like
spirits of evil transform this decayed form to Mumra, the ever
that was
Oh
the
my God.
ancient spirits of evil.
Christopher Walken, please be Mumra.
In
Oh,
case
shit.
Christopher Walken as
What? Ray. That's
Lion
I
O.
want to see him in his voice.
I
Ancient
would
spirits.
ancient
Spirits.
spirits of evil.
You know,
And then he dances.
Transform this.
Oh, that'd be so good. Anyway, guys, question is for you. What do you think about this? Would you be down for a Thundercats movie? Maybe it's too late for them to do it. Do you think Adam Wingard can actually get this thing going? Whatever you guys think, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.